Okay. All right. So I'm going in with this mix of Winsor Blue and Alizarin. And I'm not going to do, well, maybe, no, I'm not going to do that dramatic thing. I'm just going to, I will kind of press down with the brush. And so I'm just going to apply it, and then I can go back with a wet brush to lighten some areas. Now there's a very white reflection right here. So I think I'll keep that. See, I turn my brush around so I have a soft edge here. So what I've got right now is a kind of a silhouette. It's kind of feathery and down here at the bottom. So if I have a little dry brush action going, that's a good thing. So anything I do in this more spontaneous part of the process, anything I can keep is all for the better, because it'll look, the end result will look really nice. Okay, so now I'm going to take my synthetic brush and just apply some water where I want to do some softening. So it's not quite so hard edge in these places. Also where it's a little lighter, so I'm seeing light here. So I'm just touching it with water, and that's going to push the pigment. Because like I said, these are staining colors, but they're still wet. And I'm seeing a little light right here. And I want to soften this. And I'll save his eye and do that separately. So I'm not worried about blooms because that kind of suggests the texture, the ruffly texture of the feathers. Now I want to put some warmth in here. So I'm going to maybe use a little Q Gold with a little of the alizarin. That makes a color that's similar to burnt sienna, but again, this would be a staining color. I'm just going to put a little warmth here in this chest and under here. And now I'll go into his eye, and I think I'll add a little Winsor green at this point. And a little alizarin. Get that real black color. And you always want to keep that highlight in the eye. Not the end of the world if you lose it, because you can go back with the white paint. There, see, as soon as you do the eye with the highlight, he's got personality. So. Now I want to put a little tone underneath. I think my model here had his beak in some water or something. I'm not sure it's always like that, but it's not bad having that dark there at the end. But I think what I'll do is I think I'll wet the beak and then drop some tone at the end and just let it creep back. Make it a little warmer. Now it's looking a little messy. Okay. So now I'm going to do his, I think I'll, let's see, I'll do this branch that he's on. So here I'm going to work with a different range of, well, should I do that? Yeah, I think I'll use, this would be a good lesson. I'm going to use non-staining colors for the tree, because that'll be a good exercise. So I'm going to use ultramarine blue and yellow ochre. It's a heavy yellow. And then I'll use a pink, which is, this is a bit of a staining color. It's a permanent rose. So ultramarine, yellow ochre, permanent rose. And so now I'm using a big mop and starting at the top, I'm going to lay it in really loose. So the color looks very gray here because it's the three primaries mixed together. And what I like to do is, while that gray color is wet, I like to drop the pure pigment of my primaries in individually. So there's a little blue, I put in the yellow and the pink, and they'll diffuse. And this way, this dead tree has a livelier, more interesting look to it. I'm going to start with a wash of blue and then put the black over it. It's another way to get like blue in where the light's hitting. And then maybe here it's a little warmer. So this is like doing an underpainting. It's another way of doing it. Now it's time to put on the finishing touches, so I'm darkening the birds, adding a little texture, little form, and then I'll be darkening the tree and adding some neutrals and just letting it flow down the trunk. And the last thing I'll do is add some twigs at the bottom to give the background a kind of a decorative look, almost like filigree. So I think of this as kind of musical, little spatter, and looks like a party. So thank you.